Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today I have one of the juiciest videos you're ever going to see from Strongman Personal Finance. In this video, number one, we see the rebellion that's going on inside of Jeremy's Discord because they are finally realizing what a freaking loser this guy is. And number two, Jeremy reveals his total returns since 2019. And you're not going to believe how much this guy has underperformed the S&P 500. This guy well and truly is a fraud. Let's go ahead and watch Jeremy the Foo-Foo.
So I was a little hurt earlier today. I got to be honest, a little hurt. And the way I kind of view the private stock group is it's kind of like an extended family, right? I have my immediate family, which is like my kids and my wife, and other family members that are very immediate. Then I have this like kind of extended family of the Discord chat and the private stock group and things like that, right? And then I have my way distant family of let's call it YouTube and all those sorts of things. But people talk reckless on YouTube and say all types of things all the time. It doesn't really affect me very much. But when somebody kind of attacks me inside.
He's referring to me, of course, because I'm his number one hater. And it does affect him because he is so butthurt by the truth that I speak and how much I've exposed him for the fraud that he is, that he has started a VT versus Jeremy stocks tracker. And by the way, I'm winning that one handsomely, Jeremy. Don't pretend like I don't hurt your feelings because I can see you for what you are, a massive, disgusting scammer. Let's keep watching.
The private stock group, I will say it bothers me. It bothers me quite considerably, actually. And earlier after the chef earnings came out, I feel like there was several people that were kind of like attacking me. And, it might not have been the agenda or whatever, but you can't control how somebody else interprets it. I interpreted it as like, Jeremy, you don't know what the fuck you're doing anymore. You're clueless. That's how it came across to me. That might not be the way certain people intended it, but that's how it came across to me. And so, in these sorts of situations, there's so many different like thoughts can run and so much politics and like, who's right and who's wrong and things like that. And, it brings me back to actually like sports back in the day. And I always enjoyed track because track, there's no bullshit. Track, it's the numbers. This guy's faster, you're faster. There's no like, oh, he might be better than him. It's not like football where it's like, I think he might be better than him, so we should start him. It's like, whoever's got the faster number is faster. That's bottom line, okay? And so I said, let me just pull up the public account and like, what we've had for gains or losses over the years since we.
So he's butthurt because his Discord is finally starting to figure out that this guy has no idea what he's talking about. Now, if a stock goes down, that doesn't mean it's a bad stock. I don't criticize Jeremy's stocks because they went down. I enjoy when they go down. It makes me laugh because I don't like the guy. But the reason I attack his stocks is because his process is literally revenue by avenue, forward PE, and it's the future, bro. And he completely ignores the fundamentals of the company besides a surface level view of revenue by avenue. He doesn't consider anything else. I'm dead serious. You can look at all the stuff that he buys. He just talks about revenue and he says, oh, well, the earnings will eventually sort themselves out. How did that work for all of your garbage companies, Jeremy? Not too well. But now he's saying his family in the Discord is hurting his feelings. Jeremy, the Discord is not your family. Who in their right minds would charge their family up to $20,000? And yes, you used to charge that. You don't charge it anymore, at least from what I've heard. But I remember calling your organization, and you can trust me or you can't. You trust me or not. But there were multiple tiers quoted, and your guy said, oh, well, if you want the highest tier, it's going to cost you $20,000. $20,000. Nobody in their right mind who actually cares about their family is going to charge them up to $20,000 or even a couple grand to learn how to gamble on a bunch of individual stocks. Jeremy, I've been inside your course. I've seen that little free course offering that you did. Your stuff was full of errors. Very, very bad and dangerous errors. You gave incorrect tax advice, okay? I'm a CPA and I'm decently experienced at tax. I'm not a tax genius. But the stuff that you said, the average person should know that what you were saying was wrong. And you even screwed up the PE ratio on an official video in your course. And you've done that multiple times. All you do is make mistakes. You can't even spell properly. You make yourself look like an absolute clown. And it is obvious to me You have no idea what you're doing. And the whole purpose of your organization is to siphon as much money from people as you possibly can. Charging or saying people can expect 30% returns is ludicrous. It is absolutely ludicrous. Anybody that tells you you could beat the market that handsomely, consistently, is a scammer. 100%. I don't even think Warren Buffett has got 30% returns. You mean to tell me this former gas station manager is getting 30% returns? Oh, but we've actually confirmed what returns he's gotten. I did a very quick calculation, as you'll see. But he's going to go ahead and show us his portfolio, and he has a little trickery going on here, and I'll show you.
We've had the public account. And let's look at the numbers together. Because this is no way of me wanting to boast or brag. I get nothing out of that. It means nothing to me. But if I have to defend myself, I will defend myself. And in this situation, I feel like, unfortunately, I do. And I feel like it's kind of silly, but that's how I personally feel. The fact that I have to do this means that other people really kind of got under my skin and like I've got to like show this.
You should show it to the world, Jeremy. So what he's going to do is he's going to show you his realized gains by year. Realized gain means you actually sold your stock. Now remember, when you sell a stock at a gain, you got to pay taxes. So even the gains you're seeing here, you can knock off about 23.8% for long-term capital gains rates, assuming they were long-term gains. And on top of that, net investment income tax, because he's in that tax bracket. So in 2019, we can see right here, he had $166,000 in cost basis, and he had proceeds from his sales of $203,000. So in that year, he got some gains, right? You know, he got about, 25% gains? That's great. But what I'm going to do, and what I did, is I added up all the cost basis and all the proceeds for every year for all his realized gains and his unrealized gains. And I'm going to show you that he's massively underperformed the S&P 500.
So this is the public count. This is the first full year of having the public count 2019. We had about $37,000 in gains, roughly, $17,000 roughly in short term.
And I just realized this. Half of it is short-term gains. So that's taxed at its highest marginal tax bracket, which is probably 37%. Oh, God. Oh, Jeremy.
Obviously, the account was pretty dang new, so it's like, you're going to have quite a bit of short-term gains and then about $19,000 of long-term gains there. 2020, we had $53,000 of total gains, $17,000 in short-term, $35,000 of long-term in the public count that year. 2021, we had $118,000 of gains, $83,000 long-term, $34,000 short-term in this particular account. Total last year, I think it was a little under $500,000 in total gains across all my different accounts. And then 2022 so far in the public account, haven't done much, but the move has been big. It's amazingly enough, despite it being a horrible year for Jeremy, it should actually be a record-breaking year in the public count in terms of gains taken, with over $250,000 gains. Now, I am going to...
So what he's doing here is he's showing you very big numbers. The numbers are big. Now, looking at this year, he did get a massive return because he sold Tesla. I mean, obviously, all the gains came from Tesla. I personally think he got lucky on it because you can look at his other investments, but I'll give you credit, Jeremy. You saw Tesla was going to go to $1 trillion market cap, and you bought it, and you made your money. Fair enough, okay? But now he's going to show his unrealized gains, and we're going to add them all up, and I'm going to show you the paltry, weak returns that he got, not even factoring in taxation. And you see right here, he's got short-term gains and long-term gains. Short-term gains are taxed very, very heavily, especially for a rich genius like this guy who seems to know what he's talking about, right?
And I have my Voyager write-off, which is, I think, $15,000 in this account. So that will, I think I'm going to sell that after Thanksgiving, because I think that's when things go to long-term, if I recall. And that'll offset some of these long-term gains. So that will bring it down to probably about $235,000 or $240,000 of gains this year. So that's a number since we had the public account. So, I think I'm pretty decent at what I do in running portfolios and stocks and things like that. And
no, you're not. He showed you very big numbers. But if you do the math, something different comes up.
In terms of the stocks that I've been destroyed on this year, right? Maybe Meta doesn't come back. Maybe Corsair doesn't come back. Maybe The Chef doesn't come back. Maybe Honest doesn't come back. Maybe Planet doesn't come back. Maybe Oatly doesn't come back. An Avant or whatever else here, right? But I'm pretty decent at this. And there can be a lot of things made up about me and a lot of lies and a lot of people run with stuff. And most of the time, it's not even worth me addressing because it's just draining for me. And there's no winning many times on the internet because people are still going to believe whatever the freak they want to believe, even if it's like concrete evidence. It's just like, it doesn't even matter, right? But
yeah, apparently the internet concrete evidence doesn't matter.
inside the private stock group, like I really, I get hurt if I hear people like talking about me like I'm not that guy when I am that guy. And I just think it's important to remember that the numbers don't lie, man. And
okay, the numbers don't lie. Your feelings are hurt. Blah 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 blah. So I went ahead and did the math. And if my numbers are wrong, I will always be happy to recalculate it. But I took the proceeds and basis for each year and I added them up. And you can see he's had gains. He's had realized gains every single freaking year. Now, the last two, I have 2022 realized gains where he had 366% realized gains. Pretty impressive, right? And I've included the unrealized gains because that's his total portfolio. Now, on top of that, like I said, this stuff that was sold gets taxed. The gain gets taxed. So the gain really isn't that in the slightest. However, if you add up all of his proceeds and you add up all of his basis, let's check the math, okay? Check the math, okay? Total gains, okay? His total gain, it realized and unrealized, since 2019, 10%. 10 freaking percent. The numbers don't lie, Jeremy. Let's go look at the S&P 500. So if we start the S&P 500, oh God, this is so bad. The S&P 500 was 2,300, let's say early January, right? Something like that. The S&P 500 has gone up by 57%. You, Jeremy, have gotten 10% cumulative in your public account, and the S&P 500, which is a stupid index, boring indexes, has gotten 57%. He literally just shows you right there. He's not good at this game. He's not good at it. He is not freaking good. The numbers don't lie, Jeremy. What else do I need to show you people that this guy doesn't know what he's doing? And all the other losses that he's had that we don't see in the public account? Because remember, he said he lost $300,000 on Voyager. What about GoPro? What about all those other crappy stocks that he bought that got absolutely wrecked? You don't even see those. The only thing that even made him get a positive return, it looks like, was Tesla Myesla. He only got 10%. You know what, guys? If you can't see it now, you'll never see it. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for the person that gave me that information, that gave me access to that video, because we finally seen Jeremy's actual total returns in his public account. Don't be fooled by the big numbers. It's all about the rate of return. Cheers!